Hey guys, Skyward here. So I actually just finished recording this video last night. I was going to upload it today, but I got a message saying that this package was going to be arriving in the mail. And that package contained the couple of Ultimate Doom or Doom masks that I had ordered from Germany, so really cool. And I just wanted to make sure I could get that on this guy to see how it looks. I really like the way this ended up coming out. I've never been a huge fan of this mask, but mostly because I had seen it on just some really gaudy types of builds. But it is a neat piece. I think it would work really well as like armor, shoulder pads, and things. So it's definitely something I will be trying to utilize in the future. That said, I actually custom built a head for this to work on here, so it does work out well enough. And it is on a ball joint as well, so you can still move it around everything the way the original Kraken can move. Let me try to adjust my camera a bit. Apologize for that. I'm working in a pretty small space. But you can also see on the bottom of the head here, and part of the attachment that's going on, I actually added one of these slicer feet pieces, or is it a foot? What is this piece? I'm not sure. This triangular piece here, I'm not sure why it doesn't want to center, but yeah, so for the actual head build here, is relatively simple. It's just using this triangle here and one of these, I'm trying to get this on frame, one of these rubber number 2 lift arm pieces, and then directly above that, just a pair of eyes connected to a 2 lift arm or beam. So that works out really well. Those are custom eyes that I dyed, so they're actually a pinkish color, which looks really nice. Shows through really well on this. But the axle right there connects directly to the ball that was connected to the original head, so you can just swap this out for a regular Makuta head if you really want to. And that way it kind of fills out the bottom too, and you don't get left with that big gap on the bottom there. So, but yeah, I think that works out really well. Anyway, so let's go ahead and talk about this guy. This is my revamp for the, I guess you could call it the prototype Makuta build. You guys may have seen that in another video that I had posted relatively recently. Depending on when this goes up, it may have been the last video that I uploaded. And that was a really fun, challenging build. That was kind of my idea, was taking some, I don't know, just challenging myself, challenging my brain to make something that was new, make something unique, and, work off of something that totally existed but wasn't intended to be the released Makuta set. So if you guys haven't seen that video, I definitely recommend it, and I'll try and link it in the description below if I remember to do so. But let's go ahead and talk about this guy here real quick. So there's a couple things I'm still going to address, but he does have the swivel function, just like the original Makuta has, just turning this back here. I did, of course, change out some colors of things going on down at the bottom here to kind of consolidate those. So black gears and some other black pieces up here. To really stabilize the body. And the body itself is stabilized because if you guys remember on the what do I even want to call that, reference model, I guess, the entire front torso area was all just connected to this ball joint here, so the entire thing could move. The head, everything, this front angled section here, the Roxy back, all that stuff could move because it was only attached to that. So I did actually attach an axle directly through this to the body, so it's still at that angle, which looks really nice, but it's completely solid, like it's not going anywhere, and so I really like that. I also ended up moving these pieces just a little bit further out, so that is a number 6 axle right there instead of a 5, and I just put some little spacers in there in the form of number 2 thin lift arms, and that just pushes those out far enough to miss the sides of the body here, because in the original model they would collide. Speaking of that area, if you guys also remember the last video, the arms were a bit closer to the torso, which made these shoulder pads look like they stuck out way too far, in my opinion, so I actually moved the arms back out. The shoulder pads are in the same spot, but the arms are actually a little bit further from the body, which does two things. I think it bulks him up quite a bit, but it also leaves that ball socket open on the inside here, so I connected the tube to that. And I think that looks really nice. Obviously, it pays homage to the released Makuta set that had the tube going through it, and I think that was a feature I really liked on that set. So let's go ahead and take a look at the arms here real quick. So the arms are actually now on Roxy back pieces, which I think make the arms look a little more armored, but also a little bit thicker. So they look more muscular, I guess, or a little bit stronger. Aside from that, there are actual elbow joints in the form of a 2-long just bar piece, because I got them from a bootleg set, but a 3-long bar piece would work just the same here, lightsaber bar. And that just runs straight through this Glatorian neck piece, so that you can actually move that up and down, but it still has friction. And the hands also have a ball joint in them, which I'm going to try and show here. Yeah, you can kind of see it through the weapon there. So the hands are also ball jointed. Aside from that, the fingers can all move individually of each other. And I actually made this part here, trying to get this, able to sway a bit so that the fingers can interlock, because in the original model, the top 2 fingers would collide. So it's also just kind of happenstance from the pieces used, so it, in a way, kind of performs a double duty. So, but I think it looks good. It obviously means he can hold the weapon and actually grip it. The second hand is slightly more modified version of that. I added one of these friction adders in here, which you can't quite see. Let me go ahead and move this camera back down. Yeah, another one of those friction lift arm pieces, and that's running into a gear that's connected, just an 8-tooth gear connected to this, and that way he can, you know, rotate the weapon, make it look menacing and do whatever, but it doesn't just spin freely in his hand, which works out really well. Aside from that, of course, you can move this so you can obviously adjust the amount of friction. And of course, the hips are on ball joints, but I changed those out to the CCBS style, which have just a little bit of extra friction. So his legs are just a tad stronger. And I custom built an actual Roxy back piece here in black, since the prototype would have had them in black. And that way he actually has some knee articulation, or I guess you could say ankle, depending on what you look at that as. So yeah, his actual ankle knee can move, which is really nice, because the original Makuta obviously didn't have that. And just to keep this from flying open, I just ran this axle and a couple of bushings through there, and yeah, it doesn't move at all. But you can also attach a pin. Oh, that's not going to show through. A pin in that hole right there to do the same. So yeah, so overall, very, very happy with how this turned out. Trying to kind of show this on camera is a little bit difficult, but I'm doing my best. I think there's still a couple things that I want to change, but I'm overall very happy with this. I'm like 99% satisfied. I'm going to change these from pearl silver to flat silver, just because all the other silver on him is already flat silver. You can see some up here. I just haven't dug out all of them yet, so he needs 10 total. I have like another 5 or 6 sitting over there in a bin, and I think I got a few more on some of my Gen 2 creations. So, but yeah, I think I'm going to pretty much call this one finished. So I'm probably going to be releasing some instructions for this for relatively soon. The only thing that probably won't have instructions is the head design, because I'm not sure that Studio, the program that I use, has some of these pieces, let alone the slightly illegal connectivity. Taking that out of this build though, and just putting the regular Krakan on a Mata head here works out just as well, and that's probably what I'll end up doing in the final model. So I will let you guys know when those are posted, and I'll try and get them done very soon. I know it takes me quite a while to make some instructions and things, but definitely got a lot of stuff going on in real life, so I will see you guys in the next one. Let me know what you guys think about this model, though, in general, and, of course, I want to know, what other prototypes would you like me to take on? I've thought about doing some of the other, like, 2008 Makuta and things like that, but there's obviously so many. I'd love to try and tackle different models. I think the Kick and Aloe would be another one. Obviously, I'm going to steer away from cutting pieces, but I think working within the limitations of the Bionicle pieces released, I think it'd be really cool to just kind of have some fun throwing some stuff together and seeing what we can come up with. So I'll see you guys in the next one. If you guys liked the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you. I will also link my description and Instagram. That's enough plugging. Later.